When I was 29, I told myself the next acting job I get, no matter what it pays, I will, from now on, for better or worse, be a working actor. So I quit my position at the Professional Examination Services, and now I didn't have either the internet or a cell phone or a job. But something good happened. I got a low-paying theater job in a play called Imperfect Love, which led to a film called 13 Moons with the same writer, which led to other roles, which led to other roles. And I've worked as an actor ever since. I didn't know that would happen. At 29, walking away from data processing, I was terrified. 10 years in a place without heat, 6 years at a job I felt stuck in. Maybe I was afraid of change. Are you? My parents didn't have much money, but they struggled to send me to the best schools. And one of the most important things they did for me is that once I graduated, I was on my own. Financially, it was my turn. But this made me very hungry. Literally. I couldn't be lazy. Now I'm totally lazy, but back then, I couldn't be. And so at 29, and at very long last, I was in the company of the actors and writers and directors I'd sought out that first year, that first day after school. I am by their sides. Raise the rest of your life to meet you. Don't search for defining moments because they will never come. The moments that define you have already happened, and they will already happen again. Sorry, it sucks after graduation. It really does. I mean, I don't know, at least it did for me, but that's the only thing I know. You just get a bit derailed. But soon something starts to happen. Trust me. A rhythm sets in. Just try not to wait until, like me, you're 29 before you find it. And if you are, that's fine too. Some of us never find it. But you will. Promise you. What did Beckett say? Ever tried, ever failed, no matter. Try again, fail again, fail better.
The problem is not pleasures. The problem is that pleasure experienced without prior requirement for pursuit is terrible for us. It's terrible for us as individuals, it's terrible for us as groups, and I have great confidence in the human species to work this out, but we are finding now, and we are going to increasingly find, that those who will be successful, young or old, are going to be those people who can create their own internal buffers. They're going to be able to control their relationship to pleasures, because the proximity to pleasures and their availability is the problem. If you look at the increase in use of drugs of abuse or prescription medication, which at least at the first pass deliver pleasure, pain relief, the whole issue with the opioid crisis, and dopaminergic drugs like Ritalin, Adderall, you know, there is sometimes is a clinical need, but tons of people are taking those recreationally now or to study. Huge dopamine increases are what those cause. That is a problem. That's a serious problem, because it creates a cycle where you need more of that specific thing. I would say addiction is a progressive narrowing of the things that bring you pleasure. And, you know, and I don't like to comment too much on enlightenment because, you know, I don't really know what that is as a neurobiologist, but a good life, we could say, is a progressive expansion of the things that bring you pleasure. And even better, is a good life is a progressive expansion of the things that bring you pleasure and includes pleasure through motivation and hard work. and understanding this pain-pleasure balance, whereby if you experience pain and you can continue to be in that friction and exert effort, the rewards are that much greater when they arrive. And so if you look at any drug of abuse or any situation where somebody isn't motivated or thinks that, now they may have clinically diagnosed attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, but a lot of what people think is ADHD, it turns out, is people just over-consuming dopamine from various sources. And also the context within a TikTok feed is, the context switch is insane. The brain has never seen, first of all, this is the first time in human evolution that we wrote with our thumbs, but that's a pretty benign shift. And then the other shift is, normally you walk from one room to another, or from a field into the trees, or from a hut into, or a house, or whatever it is. But now you can get 10,000 context switches in that 30 minutes of scrolling on Instagram or TikTok. And so it's all about self-regulation. Well, how do you self-regulate? How do kids self-regulate? Well, this is my hope, and one of the reasons I've gotten excited about public education and teaching neuroscience is that this is a place where knowledge of knowledge actually can allow oneself to intervene. When you think, I'm feeling low, I don't feel good, nothing really feels like good. Am I depressed? Maybe. But maybe you've saturated the dopamine circuits. You're now in the pain part of things. What do? Well, you have to stop. You need to replenish dopamine. You need to stop engaging with this behavior, and then your pleasure for it will come back. But you have to constantly control the hinge. It's not just about being back and forth on the seesaw. You have to make sure the hinge doesn't get stuck in pain or in pleasure. We often think about the extremes of addiction, and those are really severe. But we also have to think about the more subtle forms of something we really love, but indulging in it just a little too often so that it no longer has that edge. You know, there have been really good studies of people who jump out of airplanes with parachutes. You know, I'm sure it's a lot of fun. It looks like a thrill, but people do it over and over and over again, often die doing other things. They often become drug addicts because it's a huge high. Oh yeah, a lot of that. And you know, there are a lot of examples of this. I mean, you can get addicted to anything. The key is to regulate that behavior. So you asked what should people do? Well, certainly I'm trying this now, and I have some good examples. Some young people I know and work with are taking breaks from not just social media, but no cell phone whatsoever. I'm actually trying an odd experiment, which is for the first hour of every day, no phone. Learning how to keep that no-go, don't circuitry, as we could call it, tuned up is very important. And so many times throughout the day, but I try and get 25 a day, where I actively refrain from doing something that I impulsively want to do. Could be looking at my phone, but it could even be something trivial. Like I want to walk to the kitchen and get a glass of water. So I'm actively engaging in action-based denial. So restricting my behavior in some way as a way of keeping these dopamine circuits tuned up. Also not looking at my phone first thing in the morning for an hour, because knowing what we now know about the second phase of sleep and REM sleep being more predominant, the second wave of sleep, and the fact that you're working through a lot of emotional and logistical contingencies, you're reshaping your brain in sleep. That's when neuroplasticity occurs, during sleep. It's triggered in wakefulness, but it actually takes place in sleep, especially that second half of sleep. When you wake up in the morning, you are in a perfect position to what I call receive the download of all the work that your neural circuitry has been doing the night before. But if you immediately go to a sensory experience, especially a rich sensory experience of stuff scrolling by, you're actually missing the information that you processed at night. And even more importantly, that second half of the night during REM sleep is when the emotional weight of things becomes, let's say, you put it on the shelf properly. Things that are important to emotionally register get put in one shelf. Things that were like the comment you got on Twitter that was triggering, doesn't seem like such a big deal after a good night's sleep. And that's because that second half of sleep is actually when you re-experience these things, but your body can't secrete adrenaline. It's kind of an internal form of therapy or even trauma therapy. And that's why people who don't get that sleep are very, they're easily agitated. They feel like the world is crushing down on them. So when I wake up in the morning, I want to receive ideas that I want to learn from my learning. And if you take in new information, you are not in a position to do that.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, We unconsciously give other people permission to do the same, as we are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others.
If you're new to the Impact Secret Podcast Show, welcome to the family. To my existing family, as always, big up. Thank you for joining the ride. Today on this podcast show, I hope that I can shift your inspiration as well as your motivation and ensure that we're standing on a true foundation of self-discipline. I am your respectful host, ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, listen, that just simply means Ed. Now, you know the slogan, the motto, what we live by, what we stand on here. Bet on yourself. You won't win unless you get in the game and play. A quote that we love here: you never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Bob Marley. Family, I'm back again. I'm back at you. I know you miss me, but you know how we do it. Ain't nothing changed. I'm just a little bit more energetic right now. One question, two thought-provoking statements. First question: Are you? Are you? Second, or I should say first thought-provoking statement now. Stop and recalculate. Again, stop and recalculate. And the last and final thought-provoking statement is fail better. Fail better. If you're just tuning in, family, again, as always, I appreciate it. If you're listening on YouTube, please go down to the bottom of the link and show your boy some love by leaving some comments, or better yet, I got something for you that is just free of charge. Hit that share this with someone else that is going through something. Hit the like button. I know there's a lot of things on there I can do, but just make this video pop. This is the return. This is, I'm getting so excited because I'm back. I didn't even give you a title of what we're here for. So I have a title with a subtitle. This title and subtitle was inspired by T.D. Jakes and Peter Dinklage. I'm probably saying his name wrong. My bad, Peter, but when we see each other, we'll dap each other up. It'll be all good. Anyway, today's title is entitled "Stop Managing What People Think of You. Fail Better." Stop managing what people think of you. Fail better. Again, family, if you're listening on YouTube, again, hit this like button, share this content. Really, family, we got to start getting this out, because I've been going for a minute. And when I say a minute, I was just looking. The last episode I dropped was on the 13th of last month. So I don't know when you're listening to this. I really don't like dating the show. So if I say the date and then, so basically this is what it is. I've been going for about almost 3.5, almost 4 weeks. And what I've been doing during that time, it helped me understand a lot more of where I'm at, if that means any context. You see, what I understood was the fact that I was okay, fam. So I was thinking about this show when I was actually putting this show together, and what I was thinking about, and I didn't even get a chance to watch the actual show, but I got the concept. And the concept is I think it's entitled "From Fit to Fat." And what it was about, it talked about the concept was more or less of saying, trainers who are, are in really great shape and amazing shape and all of these things, decided to make a decision to say, you know what? I need to understand my clients better. I need to understand what they're going through so I can help them better. Because a lot of times, family, we'll get caught up or we'll get into our zone and we forgot how we got to our zone. And I forgot how I had got to my zone, and I needed to step backwards. And a lot of people wouldn't advise that you do this. And the reason why is because of that. That's why I love what Peter was saying when he said, "Are you?" And if you want to hear the full context of that video, that audio clip, there's a whole speech he gave. I think it was at a college or something like that. And when he was saying, and I'm going to remix it because I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying, are you afraid to go to the next level? Or are you already at the next level and you're nervous because you don't know what to do? There are more books out there on going after success, but not maintaining and sustaining and growing your success. And so how this all came about, when I was thinking about that show and the context, it made me really respect this craft even more and said, I have a ton of work to do and I'm excited to dig into it. And Fit to Fat is, like I said, so the trainer went and basically stopped working out and was just eating all the wrong things and doing all the things wrong that you would do as a trainer. And it wasn't just a physical thing, it was mental as well. So instead of them normally, maybe they may read in the morning or before they go to bed or during the day, they were spending a lot of time watching TV. They weren't filling their mind up with personal development type things or learning new skill sets. It was just, I'm chilling. If we just gonna keep it a bean, I mean, that's what it was. They was just chilling, and through that process. So then, after they go through that particular process, and now they have to re-engineer and get back into the shape and the mindset. See, there's two components here. There's a mindset piece and a physical piece. I think, and this is just me speaking, ED saying this, in my personal life, I realize you need both. What do you mean, ED? Well, I feel that the physical of maybe doing some cardio or some type of workout, as well as combining it with the mental piece, it for me, now again, it's for me, it's a true stress reliever, family. It's a true eye opener for me because I see how I feel after a workout and, during the day, and then when I didn't work out. So you're like, okay, ED, where are you going with all this? You're telling me about Fit to Fat. You're telling me about, what you're doing. So what are you saying? Okay, let's get to it. See, what happened was, family, is that I decided to take sort of that model. It didn't start off that way. It wasn't like I was like, yeah, I'm going to take about 4 weeks off and I'm going to do the Fit to Fat. No, it didn't. It didn't happen that way. There were celebrations, my birthday and everything like that. And there were other things that were going on, celebrations and just enjoying family and things like that, that by the time I looked up, I was like, wow. And I just had to look to see when the last show was dropped, because I was like, it didn't feel like that long. To me, it only felt like a couple weeks. And I wish I could lie to you and say that I wasn't having fun, because I was having a ball. I mean, I was getting up when I wanted to get up. I was eating what I wanted to eat. I was doing what I wanted to do. I totally moved away from all of the things that helped me build a true mental and physical foundation. And I did that because in the beginning, again, like I said, family, it was celebrations and things like that. But then as I continued to transition, I realized, wow, you know what? This would be a good opportunity to understand what people go through. Give me a understanding. When I say people go through, I'm saying that why do a lot of people say they want this? Whether that this is maybe you want to start a show, maybe that this is that you want to go to college, maybe that this is you want to start a business. And it sounds good. It may even look good. But then when it comes time for the action, things disappear. What happens? And you get comfortable. And during my phase of being comfortable, I see what happened. I saw what happened. I felt what happened, because family, it is much easier to sleep in than to set an alarm clock or alarm clock and make a decision the night before that your goal is to wake up at whatever time that you said you want to wake up, to push yourself, to challenge yourself. It is much easier to sleep in. Let's just be honest. It's much easier to sleep in. It's much easier to go after that challenge that you said or build that business than it is to just go out and maybe continue to buy instead of being a producer. It's much easier. You know why it's much easier? It's much easier because number one, you won't be criticized and or critiqued. Number two is that you have to understand that coming up with material, you're like, man, am I going to get writer's block? Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? You find every potential excuse of the reason why you can't. Ooh, I like that. And the reason why I like that is because if you stop asking yourself why you can't do something and change the story, or as I call it, like the theme of the next 30 days for me, I'm sharing this, family. Like I said, we're getting to a point where we need to be extremely transparent, because I'm reading a book. You may have read it before or heard of it. And it's called The Success Principles. I just started today. Now, keep in mind, I had started reading a book and I stopped because I picked up with something else. But the next 30 days, my focus on is again, 10 to 15 minutes in the morning of reading something positive. I'm already reading my scriptures in the morning that I felt that Dr. Miles Monroe had gave me through a audio. He didn't give it to me, but I had to model what he was talking about. But the book is by Jack Canfield and it's called The Success Principles: How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And this is the 10th anniversary edition. If you're a book person like me or audio, either one, you probably at this point, you might be trying to write the book down, or you're going to hit rewind to hear the book. So I'm going to say the book again. The book is called The Success Principles: How to Get from Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. And this is the 10th anniversary edition. You know what I think I may start doing, family? When I start mentioning books, probably going to leave like some affiliate links or something like that to the book, so you can just go right there and click on the link and not try to write that down, because I want you to enjoy the commentary that I'm providing here for you, because this transition for me, like I said, the past 3.5, 4 weeks, it really taught me about attitude, the attitude of, if you don't make the decision to get up early in the morning or stay up late at night, whatever works for you or whatever your schedule is, you're going to realize, and you will get to a point where things will irritate you, that will bother you, that weren't. Like, family, things that normally wouldn't bother me or irritate me, it was bothering me. It was irritating me. It was what people were saying and doing. And that's why I entitled this, because we're all guilty at this at some point in our life. Some continue to go down that road, and we have to course correct. And that's why I entitled this, Stop Managing What People Think of You, Fail Better. See, if we stop caring what people think about us, we would go out and do those things that we keep dreaming about, either daydreaming or night dreaming. We will actually go out and make an attempt, because we wouldn't care what somebody says. And you got to understand the source of who's critiquing you too, because in life, you will have a lot of people critique you and have never done what you're attempting to do or had the courage to do. See, when I talk about stopping and recalculating, going through that whole, I'm gonna put my remix on from fit to fat. I'm gonna call it from personal to development to underdevelopment. Ooh, I like that. From personal development to underdevelopment. See, I have been a huge component of personal development, not because it gets me all excited in a dopamine rush, but it allows me to believe is possible. It allows me to, along with my faith and my strong foundation of God. But what I'm saying is, from an opportunity, for this opportunity for me to grow as an individual, I need both. I need practical tools that I can use today, not tomorrow or next month or next week, to help me continue to progress. And what I am noticing is a lot of times, family, we are such afraid of failing that we won't go take the shot. We are such afraid of being, or of letting ourselves down, or better yet, letting family members down, that we won't go take the shot. See, I'm challenging you to go and take the shot, because if you go and take the shot, you'll realize one or two things. First thing, it may not go in, which is great, because now you got work to do. Now you got to say, I got to keep shooting. And a lot of people give up because they are tired of shooting, because they're not seeing the results that they imagine. And that imagination of what the results should be is based off of, sometimes, in the majority of the times, what they've seen other people doing. I've shared this before with you, family. Kevin Hart talks about this a lot. He says, a lot of people think I had overnight success. And he said that is so far from the truth. He said, I spent years on years on years of honing my craft, getting up there telling jokes that at first people wasn't rocking with, going to different comedy shows and trying to work on my craft to a point where I can be great enough to demand the financial piece that I'm asking for. See, family, it's important that we continue to develop our skill sets and find new ways to bring in new skill sets, invest in training, invest in yourself. We will invest in more things that do not provide value to us because of, I believe, again, it's just me, that the commitment required to do the thing that you said you want to do may cost you something. If I could talk about cost. But see, we have to understand that even though there's a cost, we never look at the flip side of the investment. See, the investment is based off of what you deem the cost is. See, you deem the cost being that, well, I have to wake up 2 hours or an hour earlier or 3 hours earlier so I can work on my work before I actually go to my job. See, you also start thinking that, oh, well, now I want to develop this product or doesn't. Well, now I'm not going to do it because I just don't have the time. See, Darren Hardy, I remember when I don't know if it was Success Magazine when I first found him or what. I think it was Success Magazine. And he talked about carrying around this little booklet in which he would always talk about he didn't have time, or you would hear people say they didn't have time. And he challenged them to write down what they were doing through the day. Of course, it's tedious. I think it was also a challenge too, where he talked about money, as far as budgeting your money, writing down everything in that little small handbook of what you are spending or spent. And what you will realize, family, and that's what I was doing. I didn't do that as far as writing in the book, but I was just kind of watching and seeing how I was spending my time. and I was shocked that none of it was really beneficial to me. The only thing that was beneficial was the sleep. I am not going to front. Sleeping in like that, I slept like a baby. I didn't wake up. I wasn't tired. I was just like, I'm staying up to 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, kicking it. But I understood that in order for me to live the life, to be the individual I want to be, this is going to require work every day. I came back to the mic, not like I was going to leave, but I understood that to have what you want and to be what you want, something has to give. You see, I think that's why Kobe Bryant is and still is one of my favorite players. Of course, I ran it down: Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, easy. People say, well, why? You see, all three of them share something, and when I'm studying great people, they share something in common. And a lot of people will first, work ethic. Yeah, they just work so hard and everything like that. That's too easy. As we say on the court, that's just a layup to say something like that. That means you haven't taken the time to unpack and study those three gentlemen I mentioned. Yeah, work ethic, they had that. I'll give that to them. But there's a lot of NBA players that had work ethic. But it was their commitment, and it is their commitment. The commitment, regardless of how they feel, the commitment of what they're thinking, the commitment of what has happened to them or happened around them, that they still show up. How many times have you not shown up, family? I can tell you numerous times that I haven't shown up. And I haven't shown those times I wasn't or didn't show up is because I wasn't taking the necessary precautions to prepare. Because of the concern of failing or the concern of I'm in an uncomfortable situation and I don't know if this is a match for me. Or I'm doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. And we all know that is a simple case of what they call what? What do they call that when you do the same thing over and over to expect different results? I think it's called insanity. So family, when are you going to change up your approach? When you're going to stop waiting until the first of the year? I know, well, we got two more months and then you can wait. Then you can start up your New Year's plan, which is going to last 30 days or less, because we all do that. We all go out and, I think if I was in the market of selling workout gear, I would put all my best workout gear there for during December and January, because I'm gonna sell it like hotcakes. Why? Because people make a commitment and say that they're gonna do something, and if you notice, it's never a time frame of I'm gonna start now. It's always a week from now, or months from now, or years from now, or I'm gonna wait till the kids leave, or I'm gonna wait till I get this degree, or I'm gonna wait till things get better at a job, or I'll stop. What I'm saying to you, family, is that to become more of who you are and who you're meant to be, stop allowing yourself to shrink to please other people. Stop allowing yourself to go after it and fail, and go after it and fail, and go after it and then win. And whatever winning looks like to you. See, for me today, coming back after 4 weeks, a win for me today was to reignite those habits. So I'm starting from scratch almost again, but I have an advantage because I've been through this process before, so I know what is required. Now it's up to me to go out and execute. And even if I didn't know what was required, I would just get started by reading my first book, or listening to my first book, or finding information to help me to work on a skill that I'm interested in. So I'll leave you with that, family. I really enjoyed myself today. This is, as always, been the Impact Secret Podcast Show. I gave you the example. I may even do, it depends on type of feedback I get back, but I may do, like I said, the personal development to underdevelopment, which is a remix to From Fit to Fat. Because sometimes, family, you have to go through something to understand what you're destined and destined to be. I hope I can see you on the other side, family. It's been your boy ED. Remember what Vusi told us. Do you want the emotions or progress? Because you can't have both. Peace.